Good afternoon and welcome to the regular meeting of the City of Glendale Commission on the Status of Women. Due to the evolving situation with COVID-19, novel coronavirus, and health recommendations from the LA County Health Department, the Commission on the Status of Women meeting will be available to the public electronically. Due to the social distancing requirements, the public will not be able to attend the meeting. The public is encouraged to watch and participate from safety of their homes to practice social distancing. The meeting can be viewed on cable, on local cable, Charter Cable Channel 6, and AT&T UVerse Channel 99. The meeting can also be viewed online at www.glendaleca.gov by scrolling all the way down to the bottom of the page and selecting Live Streaming, which is the third icon from the left. For public comments and questions during the meeting, please call 818-937-8100. City staff will be submitting these questions and comments in real time to the appropriate person during the Commission on the Status of Women meeting. Roll call. May I have roll call, please?
Commissioner Rousselian,
Present.
Commissioner Lambolat,
Present.
Commissioner Perrion,
Present.
Commissioner Simmergen. You're on mute.
Present.
Thank you. Ex officio Akbertian,
Present.
ex officio Gulinian.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Haripetian. Next item, please.
Item 2, regular business agenda. Item 2A, report of recorder regarding posting of agenda. The agenda for the August 10, 2020 regular meeting of the Commission on the Status of Women was posted on August 6, 2020 on the bulletin board outside of City Hall.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 3, introductions and presentations. Item 3A, presentation, domestic disturbance cases during pandemic. Glendale Police Department, Sergeant Ernie Gaxiola.
Welcome, Sergeant Gaxiola. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us. I remember being here about a year ago to this day, so thank you again.
Okay, terrific. Can you give us an update on what's been happening since COVID? And
Yes, absolutely. And I remember it very clearly because it was around St. Patrick's Day, March of this year, that we went into this quarantine lockdown. And up until this point, and in reviewing the stats, after Ms. Powers requested them, I was actually baffled. I thought the domestic violence stats would have been much higher, but they're actually somewhat similar to last year. Probably the only declines would be in arrests, and I can actually see that because of the courts being closed and warrants not being processed as quickly. But I will tell you, and this is me speaking on behalf of myself, not the Glendale Police Department, I have never been a stats person, but I feel like every report I'm reading has a domestic violence element. So I'm actually surprised it's not that much higher. And our caseload has not gone down. So it's kind of unexplainable why the domestic violence stats aren't higher in considering that all the bars are closed, which is, we would handle assaults at bars. Schools are closed. We would handle incidents that happen at schools. Retirement homes or convalescent homes are all on lockdown. We handle all elder abuse cases. So our caseload has gone down in regards to those aspects of crimes we investigate. So maybe I'm just reading, I'm getting this perspective just because I'm only reading domestic violence cases. But I was really shocked that the stats were not higher because to me, in being in this unit for 2.5 years now, since March, it seems like it's been very rampant. So the stats don't show that, and I can't explain why they don't, but my unit has been very busy.
do we have any callers on the line? So can I have some questions?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
do you think that the caseload has gone down because the reports aren't being processed?
You know, what's funny is our caseload hasn't gone down. That's what's
hasn't.
weird. Yeah,
Okay.
our caseload's still pretty steady. What I'm surprised is with our caseload being steady, I'm surprised it's not, domestic violence hasn't gone up because it seems domestic violence cases are more prevalent. So my detectives are still averaging about 30 to 40 cases a month. I would say primarily domestic violence related cases. Not all cases necessarily pertaining to somebody needing to be arrested, but just cases where the Glendale Police Department documents all incidents pertaining to domestic disturbances or domestic violence. So if we get a call for service regarding the neighbors hearing people next door arguing, and it ends up being people in an intimate relationship, the Glendale Police Department's going to document it. So, and all those cases do require follow-up. We don't just read it and it's like, hey, it's just Joe citizen and Miss citizen in a verbal argument. We will still contact them and advise them, and speak with them, hey, is there anything else going on? Has there been stuff that happened before? If you need any other resources, we always refer them to the YWCA, just in terms of if they need any domestic violence resources. It's something that they don't want to report to the Glendale Police Department. But that aspect, I'm baffled at, that domestic violence does not appear to be higher on the statistics.
Do any
Chair
other?
Brazilian, may I ask a question?
Yes, I was just going to offer that.
Thank you for the presentation, Sergeant. I've heard that, there's the supposition that, presuming, let's say for the moment, that the woman in the relationship is the victim of domestic violence and the assaulter is a male, there is less opportunity to report it because of the, safer at home, the fact that people are, basically stuck at home. Do you see anything like that, or did you initially when we were really, stuck at home?
This is going to be my opinion, and I can't speak on behalf of the Glendale Police Department, but I foresee that when this mellows out, this quarantine, this lockdown, we're going to get an abundance of cold domestic violence reports where maybe people right now do not feel they can report it because of their situation, but once they do get a little more freedom and a little more opportunity to go somewhere other than where they live, I think that will give people the opportunity to report these incidents that are going on right now. So in terms of people not being able to report it right now because of their current situation, whether it's housing, employment, having to deal with children not being able to go to school, I absolutely agree with you.
Thank you.
Chair Brazilian, I have a question as well.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I'm sorry, officer, is it officer or?
Everybody calls me Gax. Gaxiola, you can just call me Gax.
Okay, thank you. I heard you also mention about nursing homes.
Yes.
And did I hear right that the reported violence from nursing homes has not increased either?
I have not pulled any statistics regarding elder abuse stats. The only statistics.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but what I did mention it is our cases from we would get a lot of not a lot, but we would get reports from convalescent homes and regarding to various aspects of issues going on there. And since this quarantine has started, a lot of these convalescent homes have gone on full lockdown. Like our officers can't even go in there unless they've gone through the proper procedure to be, I don't know what the right term is, but we would usually call them. And I'm not a fan of phone interviews. I don't think you get the full amount of information regarding what's going on if you're speaking with people over the phone. But unfortunately, because they are such high risk, a lot of these convalescent hospitals, this is their protocol. And I understand. But what I mentioned to your chair is that considering all these reports we're not getting as many, I'm still surprised that domestic violence stats, at least in Glendale, have not gone up when I've seen, it seems like pretty much everywhere around the world, the statistics have gone up. I hope that made sense.
It does. It does make sense. Yeah, it's just a concern of. I guess it's similar to domestic violence. It's the opportunity to report and call it out.
Right.
Not there.
So the one thing we have done our best in terms of responding to these incidents when we do have limited contact is Rachel Tate is the ombudsman who handles a lot of, basically handles everything and pertains to misconduct by convalescent hospitals. Not that it's that prevalent in Glendale, but does it happen? Absolutely. And Ms. Tate has done a tremendous job of keeping us in the loop when they're getting information from Adult Protective Services or family members that we wouldn't necessarily be able to get from the victim or the facility that this person is at. So we are doing our best with the limitations that we have.
And we appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for the report.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So is Rachel Tate the ombudsman only for the convalescent home domestic violence issues, or?
I know she handles every convalescent home in the city of Glendale. How far her reach is, I don't know if it's countywide. I don't know, but anything in Glendale, Ms. Tate would have information on. And we've also gone to her if we have concerns in terms of we can't address an issue, if she's got the resources or the ability to investigate things that we can't. She has been a tremendous asset.
So even for private residences, or is that a different department?
Any patient that's at a convalescent home in the city of Glendale, she would be our go-to person if there was something that we were being hindered on in terms of having contact or investigating or getting information pertaining to what's going on at this facility or any other information regarding this patient.
And to echo on Commissioner Lambalot and Commissioner Perrian's views, I believe that the reason maybe the numbers aren't higher is because the person who's being abused doesn't have the opportunity to pick up the phone because they're the person who's hurting them is in the house and they don't have that opportunity.
And and unfortunately, here's the other thing too. If you have the opportunity and you need to get out of the house, where can you go?
Where can you go?
I mean, if you have kids and you have to go with your parents and they're high risk, I mean that's a tough decision. You know, no, this isn't good.
Yeah.
Chair Bassalian, I have another question.
Yes, please.
For Sergeant Gaxiola. Why, if this situation, the theory is that the people at home are not able to pick up the phone and call or take action, why is it different in Glendale versus other cities or other countries? I mean, it's a similar situation. Everybody is in it similarly. So why would Glendale be different?
I don't know how different it is in other cities or other areas. I can't really comment on that. If I was going to say anything, I think things are probably better in Glendale. And when I say better, I don't know how to say this without sounding braggadocio, but the Glendale Police Department is very proactive. We don't let cases sit around. When we get cases, we adhere to them pretty quickly, and we also have a very good relationship with some of the other social services available in Glendale that we can do our best to try to get housing, restraining orders, protective orders, work with Department of Children and Family Services to get services for their children at will. In terms of how Glendale differs from other communities, I can't comment on that. I don't know how the city of Los Angeles handles things. I don't know how the city of Burbank handles things.
I think.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish. That's all.
But if you were to ask me, how is it different? I'm going to presume that we are doing it better.
I'm sure you are. My question was actually, I thought what you mentioned was the statistics themselves were baffling you as to why Glendale statistics are lower versus other city statistics.
And I'm sorry, I was basing our statistics from our 2019 statistics. I apologize for that. I wasn't comparing us to other cities.
Oh, okay.
I apologize.
I apologize then.
Yeah,
Right.
I should have prefaced it that way. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
Can I make one quick comment?
Please.
The one thing I've noticed as well, in terms of some of, and I mentioned earlier, we call them late cold domestic violence reports, where the victim may report this a month or two later. The one thing that has really assisted our investigations, and I commend the victims for having the fortitude and the bravery to do this, is when something happens, they're documenting it themselves, whether it's them taking a picture of their injuries, whether it's them texting a friend because you may not necessarily be able to meet with them and convey to them what's going on. And our investigations can be difficult sometimes because there isn't necessarily any evidence. If you're reporting an incident that happened 2 months ago, you're not going to have visible injuries. There may not be witnesses that we can locate. But the one thing that has assisted us with our investigations is if a victim says, hey, this happened to me a month ago, here are the pictures I took. This is the person I confided in, and I told them not to tell anybody, but I told, my coworker, my cousin. We will contact these people just to corroborate what's going on, and the district attorney's office has worked very well with us in terms of getting these cases filed, getting these and emergency protective orders. They initially used to be 5 business days. The county is, and maybe it's the state, but I can only speak on behalf of LA County. Now we can actually seek 30-day restraining orders. So there's been measures put in place to be able to assist victims during these times. But in terms of, I don't know what communication you have with advocates or other social services, but just because a victim can't report it right now doesn't mean they can't assist an investigation in the future. Just by, listen, I know it's not easy. You're gonna have a reminder of something horrific that happened to you. But if you're gonna wanna change the situation, you're gonna have to do some things that are very difficult. And some of those things are taking those photographs and saving that correspondence. It does truly facilitate our investigations. Not in the essence that, hey, we don't wanna throw people in jail forever and ruin families, but people are going to need assistance, and the best way to do it is to have all the information possible.
Any other questions? Well, thank you, Sergeant Gaxiola, for being
Thank you.
here.
And thank you guys for doing this.
And filling us in on what's been happening. And hopefully the numbers will stay low and you won't get those cold, late cases.
And I hope we meet 6 months from now and we can see how things change rather
Yeah.
than wait until August of 2021.
Oh, that would be great.
So if you guys are available, I will be.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We don't have any callers. No callers. Okay, next item on the agenda, please.
Item 4, oral comment. Discussion is limited to items not a part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. The commission may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or discussion. Staff may refer the matter to the proper department for investigation and report. We do not have any calls, Commissioner.
No callers?
No.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda, please.
Item 5, consent items. Item 5A, approval of the minutes of the regular commission meeting held on February 10, 2020.
May I have a motion for this item, please?
I move to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second. I will second the minutes.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brusalian?
Yes.
Commissioner Lambelat?
Yes.
Commissioner Perrion?
Yes.
Commissioner Simmergen?
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, please.
Item 6, action items. Under item 6A, we have selection of commission officers. Item A1, motion to select chair for the term of August 2020 to August 2021. Item 8.2, motion to select vice chair for the term of August 2020 to August 2021.
Ms. Powers, could you please provide us with an overview of the procedures for selecting officers?
Sure, certainly. Chair Brusalian, members of the commission, it's that time in August where we select the chair and the vice chair. So at this point, the chair may open the floor for nominations for position of the chair. Once all nominations are received from commissioners, the chair will close the floor to nominations, and there's no second required for nominations. In order to be selected as chair, a minimum of 3 affirmative votes is required. And once the chair is selected, the process will be repeated for selection of vice chair. And then we will just continue the meeting. And then whoever selected chair will continue running the meeting.
Okay. Nominations are now open for the position of chair.
This is Commissioner Lambalot. I would like to nominate Chair Brusilian for chair for the term of August 2020 to August 2021.
I think we're looking for other nominations at this point.
Are there any other nominations, or should we close? There's no other nominations. We'll close and we'll do roll call for Commissioner Brusalian to serve as chair from August 2020 to 2021.
Yes.
Commissioner Lambalot,
Yes.
Commissioner Perrion,
Yes.
Commissioner Simmergen, Commissioner Simmergen,
I don't think she's there.
Commissioner Simmergen, are you there?
The voices are cutting out on my end, but yes.
Oh,
Thank you. Now we do.
I'm sorry, Chair Brusalian, if I could just ask, Commissioner Simmergen, we're not able to see you. Are you able to hear us? Do you have a poor connection? We just want to make sure that you're participating in the entire meeting.
Yes, my connection is not very good. I've turned off my camera because whenever I turn it back on, it gets very poor.
Okay, but you do hear us?
I do, but it cut off. I didn't hear the rest of the nominations.
Okay, if you're having trouble hearing us, if you could just stop us, because then you're not informed in your vote. So there was only one nomination, and that was for Chair Brusalian to continue. No other nominations were made. And then we were taking a vote on that. Did you have another nomination that maybe we didn't hear you?
I did not know. I heard the first nomination, but after whenever the roll call was called, I couldn't hear my name, so I just said I can't hear you guys, but I vote yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, next item, please.
Nominations are now open for position of vice chair.
This is Commissioner Lambalot. I would like to nominate Commissioner Perrion for vice chair for the term of August 2020 to August 2021.
are there any other nominations for vice chair? Hearing none, we'll close and go to roll call, please.
Commissioner Brusalian,
Yes.
Commissioner Lambalot,
Yes.
Commissioner Perrion,
Yes.
Commissioner Simmergen.
Yes.
Item 6B, appointment of selection committee for the 2020 to 2021 student ex officio members. Item B1, motion appointing 2 commissioners and 1 student ex officio to the selection committee.
Ms. Powers, may we have a brief report on this item?
Chair Brusalian, members of the commission, since the terms of the student commissioners will end in November, staff recommends that the commission establish the 2020-21 selection committee to select the next 2 student ex officio members. The commission may appoint 2 commissioners along with 1 current student ex officio to serve on this committee. Anyone who applies must be a junior in high school or above, and that includes higher education, and either live in Glendale or go to school in the area served by the Glendale Unified School District in order to serve as a member. Once the selection committee is established, staff will work with local high schools and Glendale Community College to distribute the applications, and will also notify the community via local service and cultural organizations, as well as a press release, as well as posting the information on our website. Packets of the submission will be prepared and distributed to the committee for review and screening once the commissioners are appointed and applications are received. It's anticipated that no more than one meeting of the committee would be needed to come to a consensus after applicants have been interviewed. Historically, the student ex officios, when the commission held monthly meetings, were approved at the larger meeting, but because we've gone to quarterly and just to save time, this motion will also grant this committee to select the ex officios, as we have been doing for the past few years. And their terms would run from November 2020 to November 2021. Any meetings and interviews will be held virtually to select the student ex officios, given the ongoing precautions that we're taking with the pandemic. And that concludes my report, if there's any questions. Thank you.
Any questions? This item is open for discussions. Any commissioners interested on serving on this committee?
Commissioner Lambalot, I'm interested.
If no one else is, I am interested also. Any other interests? No? Okay, may I have a motion for this item, please?
I'll motion.
I'm sorry,
Who was that?
Can you state your name? Elena, was that you?
Commissioner,
Can we get a second, please?
What was the motion?
The motion is to have Commissioner Lambalot and Chair Brusalian serve on the Student Ex Officio Selection Committee.
Thank you.
And we have a motion by Commissioner Samerjan, and we just need a second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay, now for roll call.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brusalian?
Yes.
Commissioner Lambalot?
Yes.
Commissioner Perrion?
Yes.
Commissioner Samerjan?
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, please.
Item 6, item 6C, update regarding ad hoc committees to support the 2019 to 2022 strategic plan for the Commission on the Status of Women. C1, motion providing further direction on ad hoc committees.
Could staff please provide us a report on this item?
Chair Brusalian, members of the commission, last year the commission created ad hoc committees to support its 2019-22 strategic plan. And this item here on the agenda provides the commission the opportunity to provide updates on the progress of their respective committees as needed. Should the commission wish to make any changes to the makeup of a committee, a motion reflecting these changes can be made. And of course, it's recommended that no more than 2 commissioners serve on one ad hoc committee to avoid Brown Act conflicts, but student ex officios are not limited as they're not voting members. And the commission can always in the future add ad hoc committees to and delete them as well. At this time, there are a couple of vacancies. There's one vacancy on ad hoc committee 2 and another on ad hoc committee 3 with the departure of Commissioner Magrin. Those can remain vacant, or the commission can choose to fill them. It's completely at your discretion. That concludes my report, and at this time, I'll turn it back over to you, Chair, to take any updates.
Okay, I'd like to defer the ad hoc committee 1 update to Commissioner Lambalot to fill us in on what has been discussed and done on the committee since we last met.
This is Commissioner Lambalot. Just to clarify, I can give the report, but can I also make a motion regarding one of the ad hoc committees at this time?
Absolutely, yes, Commissioner Lambalot.
Okay, I would like to be on ad hoc committee 3 as well. Community Partnerships and Outreach. I'd like to fill that vacancy created by the departure of Chair Magrin. Should I proceed with my report now, or do you want to take other motions regarding the vacancies?
Do we have any other motions for the vacancy? If not, I'd like to, can I make a motion?
I'm happy to join two, ad hoc committee two.
And who was that? Who just said that, please?
Interested in ad hoc committee two.
Is that you, Elena? Commissioner
Commissioner
Semerjian?
Member Semerjian, if you could just identify yourself before you speak, that would help the chair.
Sure.
Commissioner Semerjian, were you the one interested in ad hoc committee 3?
Two and three were open, right? So three already seems to be claimed. I'd be happy to volunteer for two.
Okay, ad hoc committee 2. Is that what we have open?
There's 2 vacancies actually on ad hoc.
Ad hoc committee 2. And which one was that one again?
Communication and education.
Is anyone else interested in communication and education on ad hoc committee 2? No.
It could be 1 commissioner.
Okay, could be 1 commissioner. Okay. So do we have 3 filled at this point with Commissioner Lamblot?
Yes, ad hoc committee 3, Chair Brusalian. At this point, should the commission accept Commissioner Lambalot's request to join ad hoc committee 3, that one has 2 members. Ad hoc committee 2, Commissioner Semerjian just asked to be appointed to that ad hoc. There are no other commissioners on that. And then ad hoc committee 1 currently has 2 commissioners. So there's 1 more seat available on ad hoc committee 2. It doesn't necessarily have to be filled, but it can be up to 2.
Okay, can I make a motion? And I motion for Commissioner Lamblot for ad hoc committee 2, or
That would
3,
be-
sorry.
Excuse me, Chair.
3, excuse me, sorry. May I have a second?
I'm sorry.
I think, I'm so sorry.
I'm
Chair
sorry.
Brusalian.
I'm sorry.
Well, let's take all the,
Oh, okay.
everyone who wants to be part of this. We can even take updates, and then at the very end, we can make 1 motion that reflects all of this.
Oh, okay, that sounds good.
Minus the updates, but we can do the updates and then make the motion, and then we can move on to the next
Okay.
item.
May we have an update for ad hoc committee 1, please? Commissioner Lambalot?
Certainly, this is Commissioner Lambalot. When we last met in February, there were 2 issues, or 2 things that we discussed. One was partnering with Seroptimus International of Glendale to support the Human Trafficking Awareness Program that was scheduled for April of this year. And the commission voted to give Seroptimus International Glendale $1,000 and some services in kind, like printing services. Given the situation with COVID, that event was canceled. So that is moot at this time. So that did not happen. Should Seroptimus hold it again in this coming year and want to request
You cut out, Commissioner. Can you repeat what you just said, please?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, yes.
Okay. I mentioned that at the February meeting, representatives from Seroptimus International of Glendale requested that the commission partner with it on a human trafficking awareness program that Seroptimus is putting on. The commission voted to give the Seroptimus $1,000 in services in kind, but subsequently, due to the COVID situation, that event was canceled. So should Seroptimus put it on again and want to partner with the commission, they'll appear before the commission and request that. The second thing that we discussed was an update of the Women and Families Resource Guide. We had presented a mock-up, which is I'm holding right here, and Ms. Powers has been instrumental in getting that done with the city services and the design of it. And I believe we're close to getting it done. We're going to be having website links available, not on the guide itself, but on the website. Of course, when you can get on the Glendale website, the commission portion of the website, and there'll be links to the websites for these various organizations. But it's a complete redesign in terms of size, color, and appearance. And I believe that staff is also checking the accuracy of the numbers, the phone numbers in the guide. And that's my update.
Thank you, Commissioner Lambalot. Any other updates? Did we have ad hoc? So did we have 2 vacancies for ad hoc committee 2, and we don't have any updates, I guess, on that one, correct? Okay.
Correct.
Okay, and do we have updates for ad hoc committee 3, please?
No, we don't.
Okay. And do we have ad hoc committee 4, correct?
No.
No, just 3, okay.
So at this time, whoever wants to make the motion to add Commissioner Lambalot to ad hoc committee 3 and Commissioner Samerjian to ad hoc committee 2, and then we can vote on that and have those vacancies filled, please.
Okay. May I have a motion for this, please? For Commissioner Lambalot to be on ad hoc committee 3? And
I make the motion to add Commissioner Lambalot to ad hoc committee 3.
may I second?
And Commissioner Samerjian, we'll just do them together, and Commissioner Samerjian to
And,
ad hoc.
and Commissioner Samerjian for ad hoc committee 2?
I second it. Commissioner Lambalot seconds it.
Okay, great. Roll call, please?
Commissioner Brusalian,
Yes.
Commissioner Lambalot,
Yes.
Commissioner Perrian,
Yes.
Commissioner Samerjian.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda, please?
Item 6D, Domestic Violence Awareness Month activities. Item 6D1, motion approving Domestic Violence Awareness Month activities.
Ms. Powers, can you please provide us with a report for this item?
For Chair Brusalian, members of the Commission, over the years, the Commission has organized Domestic Violence Awareness Month activities to raise awareness of domestic violence and help prevent and eliminate violence within the city of Glendale. This year, there are 3 items for consideration by the Commission. The first is a proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Glendale. The Commission may consider requesting a proclamation from the Mayor and City Council to designate October 2020 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The proclamation could be presented on Tuesday, September 29th. In light of the pandemic, I know typically the commissioners attend the meeting in person and the chair speaks on behalf of the commission, but usually members of the commission attend. Because of the pandemic, and proclamations are being presented virtually, so the chair could receive the proclamation virtually via WebEx from the City Council on that day. The next event for your consideration is Purple Tie Awards and virtual chat. The Glendale YWCA has expressed interest in partnering with the Commission again this year for their 2nd annual Purple Tie Awards. This award was created last year to award men in the community who work to support domestic violence survivors and work towards the elimination of violence against women and families in Glendale. Again, they plan to give out 3 awards just like they did last year, 1 to a law enforcement representative, 1 to a volunteer or advocate, and 1 to a partner organization. And given the pandemic, the event will be held virtually this year and not include a candlelight vigil. And instead, it will include a virtual chat with the keynote speaker And 2, curated conversations with the honorees on engaging men and building community to create change and support survivors and their children. The YWCA is interested in holding this event on Thursday, October 22nd. The Commission's partnership would include working with the YWCA to set the program and having the city and design and distribute electronic flyers. In addition, something different this year, the YWCA has requested that the Commission help cover costs by sponsoring the cost of the awards that will be given to the honorees. These will just be like the physical awards that they would get, and this cost should not exceed $500. And the third item for your consideration is it's a campaign called Purple Light Nights, and this is something that the YWCA is participating in this year. It's called the Purple Light Nights campaign. As you know, purple is a symbolic color of domestic violence, and this campaign's goal is to see purple lights shining across the country and across the world on porch lights and businesses throughout the month of October every evening in an effort to bring awareness to the community. This is a global campaign that's currently in 32 states, in Canada, and in Guam. This campaign was started by the Covington Domestic Violence Task Force in 2006, and so it has expanded quite a bit since then. The City of Glendale and the Commission can partner in this campaign by lighting City Hall in purple lights throughout the month of October. And by promoting the Purple Light Nights campaign, the city can provide an opportunity to develop public awareness of domestic violence issues and build on healthy relationships. That concludes my report. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Any questions? This item's open for discussion. Any thoughts? I have a question. Do we need to vote on the commission covering the costs for the $500, or is that?
That's, Chairperson, that's at the discretion of the commission. If you want to accept that, if you're not interested in supporting in that way, that's completely for discussion by the commission at this time.
So should we make a, go ahead.
This is Commissioner Lambalot. I have a comment and question. First of all, I think the proclamation is, a no-brainer. I don't know why we would not do that. Secondly, the second, I'm trying to bring it up. I've lost it here. The Purple Tie Awards. Having attended that in person last year, it was very moving. And I think it's a great thing for the commission to be involved in and partner with the Y on. And I think the third option, or the third opportunity, the Purple Light Nights, I think is a very exciting opportunity. I think it may even raise awareness of the commission. But I had a question. Assuming that the commission voted to participate in that, would further approvals be needed, like from the city council, to light up City Hall in purple?
No, Commissioner Lambalot, to answer your question, no. It would just be at the direction of the commission, and then staff can move forward. The cost is absolutely minimal. We have a lot of the colored filters already.
Okay.
We've lit City Hall in different colors before, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Lambalot, I just wanted to, I agree with you that it's a no-brainer for the proclamation and the cost. I just wanted to know, did we have to vote on it during this meeting, or is it just a given?
That's a good question, and it's completely at the commission's discretion what type of support you'd like to provide, if this was the request that was made. So it's certainly...
And I think the question is, if they choose to support the $500 donation, must they vote on it at this meeting? And the answer is yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So may I have a motion to support with the $500 cost, support the proclamation and is the purple tie involved in that also?
Yeah, there's
All
3
three?
items. So there's the
All 3
proclamation.
items, okay.
The Purple Tie Awards, and the Purple Light Nights, and we can, the motion can just be that we the commission participate in all 3 activities as presented.
Yeah. So I'd like to motion yes for that.
And have another member of the commission make the motion.
Oh, okay, sorry. May I have a motion for this item, please?
Well, Commissioner Lambalot, this is Commissioner Lambalot. I make a motion to approve the commission's participation in all 3 activities, including the 2 expenditures of $500 for the Purple Tie Awards and Purple Lights activities.
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Lambalot,
Yes.
Commissioner Perrion,
Yes.
Commissioner Submergent,
Yes.
Chair Brusalian.
Yes.
Okay, item 7, reports, information only. 7A, update on the commission on the status of women's legislative agenda.
Could staff please provide a report on this item?
Chair Brusalian, members of the commission, this report is being provided as an update on the bills that the commission took a position on earlier this year at the state level. The state legislature had reconvened on January 6th of this year for the second of the 2-year session and had until February 21st to introduce new legislation. After adjourning for joint recess on March 20th, the state legislature went dark due to the Safer at Home order through the month of April. The Assembly reconvened on May 4 and returned to Sacramento for hearings with social distance requirements in place. And the Senate chose to reconvene on May 11 and did approve remote voting for their members, while the Assembly did not. Upon returning from recess, the Senate took a more conservative approach to what bills they would consider, limiting the number of bills from each senator to a small handful, and limiting the subject matter of bills to those that have had an impact on the current pandemic, such as public safety, funding, and housing. The Assembly, on the other hand, did not place such parameters on the bills they considered. It should be noted that bills with additional funding requirements have mostly not been considered. And that being said, the number of bills that are currently in session represent a fraction of what is typically seen in a given year. The state legislature was to come back from summer recess on July 13th, but after a few members had tested positive for coronavirus, the date was pushed back to July 27th. The deadline to pass all bills out of both houses is still set for August 31st, so that placed a considerable crunch on the amount of time that the state legislature has to hear all the bills that are currently in session. So because of this, many bills that are not related to the pandemic directly or indirectly, there's a good chance that they will not be heard. The table in the report provides a status update on the bills from earlier this year that the CSW had taken a position on, and the bolded bills are the 2 that are still active out of the 5. The one is AB 31, that's Assemblymember Garcia's bill on a sales and use tax exemption for feminine hygiene products. It is in the Senate, and it has been re-referred to the Committee on Governance and Finance, and a hearing date has not been set yet. And the second one is Senate Bill 493, and that's Senator Jackson's bill on sex equity in higher education, which attempts to standardize how sexual harassment and assault allegations are addressed in universities and colleges. That is set to be heard in Assembly Appropriations Committee this week, but the hearing may be postponed. They haven't picked an exact date yet either. And at the November meeting, the Commission will receive a report from staff of whether either of these bills made it to the governor's desk, and if so, their final disposition. And that concludes the report. If you have any questions, thank you.
Any questions from any commissioners? Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda, please.
Item 8, commission on the status of women, staff comments.
I'd like to make a comment, please. I would like to thank Dr. Eileen Magrin, our commissioner who served as chair last year, for her years of service to the commission. And we wish you all the best, Dr. Magrin. Any other comments? Okay, motion to adjourn?
Can I just,
Oh.
sorry, as staff, can I just make one comment?
Please, please.
Just on behalf of staff, I'd like to thank our student ex officios, Akhverdian and Gulinian, for their service this year. I know it was a little bit different and not exactly what you anticipated, given that at least half of your service was under a pandemic, but we appreciate your dedication and commitment to the commission, and thank you for serving as students, and appreciate all your work that you did for us. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
I'd also like to thank you guys for providing me with the opportunity to be able to sit on the board and educate me on the issues that encompass our community. So thank you on behalf of me, and I'm sure Seth has like words to say.
Thank you.
Well, of course, this was a little bit different what we expected, but this was again really nice to work with you. This was a great opportunity to make connections with you guys. And if there's anything that we in the future I will be able to help you, you can contact me for sure.
Ms. Powers, do we see who is going to help us in the voting process for the next go around?
Yes, we set the members.
You set them up? Okay. Okay, motion to adjourn?
There's no other comments from commissioners?
Any other comments?
Take a motion to adjourn.
Any motions to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Second?
I second it.
Okay, meeting adjourned at 6:25 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.